I've been seeing two sides forming throughout the game, which is LJ's group of original people, which includes him, some of the women that I've never met, and I still don't really know who they are. There's like Wyatt over there, and some of the other guys, and they've never said anything to me about wanting to work with me. Obviously, that seems like one group. Then you've got sort of what I've been building, and I think a bit about what Sunday's building. And it's great because Sunday and I have been on different tribes in different groups, but each building a little coalition that's now starting to overlap. And so this is a perfect place to be in terms of going into the merge with I can't believe I'm already talking about going into the merge. No one has been voted out of this game yet.
They haven't.
No one.
There's
already
24 people.
There are 24 people left in this game, and I'm already talking about what's going to happen at the merge. I'm getting way ahead of myself. But you have to. This is not Survivor. This is the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge. And if you don't move quick, the game will move quicker than you, and you'll be toast. So you gotta step up or step out. Well, in order to make as entertaining television as possible, I just cracked this game wide open. You know, all day and all night last night, people have been sitting around in big groups, having real nice, pleasant conversations, and it's been sweet and it's been awesome. We've been getting to know each other, but we need to play some Survivor. And so I just said to the group right now, I was like, hey, what do you guys think about, like, let's just, like, all just, like, go and have strategic conversations with each other? And people were like, okay. And now I just left to go do this confessional, and all hell is breaking loose at camp. So that's fun. But yeah, today was, I also think that I wasn't maybe a part of some of the stuff that was going on, but from my perspective, very little was happening in terms of real strategic conversations. My group last night, we did not move individually at all. We were together as a group literally the entire time. We all went to the bathroom together. We were like 7th grade girls. We had to go together. And it wasn't like necessarily on purpose, but it was just like the vibe of the group. And I said earlier today, I was like, you gotta play the vibe of the group. And that is true. And if this were a 39-day game of Survivor, I would continue to just go along with the vibe of the group and play the way that that it seems to be going. But then I realized, this is a 4-day game. We're here to have some fun. And I don't want to be sitting around and just hoping that people don't vote me out for the next couple days. I want to take it into my own hands, you know? Get some real Survivor action going on.
He said, out in the open to everybody, he said, you know, I think that, like, we need to start thinking about voting tomorrow, or we were talking about the idea that we were going to have to vote people out tomorrow, and that we weren't going to have a lot of time to do that, or maybe like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to decide who we were going to vote for, so that we should start pulling people aside tonight. And I think that was really great, especially for the non-survivors who, if we said that, it might look a little like we're trying too hard, you know? And then actually when I talked to Adam, he said that he wanted to make sure that he said it in front of the whole group so that it wouldn't be weird to pull me aside, which made me feel really good also, to know that he was like thinking ahead and like actually planning and was kind of looking out for us. I feel really strongly with Adam, and that might just be like the fangirl in me like freaking out a little bit that Adam pulled me aside and said, hey, I want to talk to you. That kind of, that excited me a lot. And then I just had a 10-minute conversation with Adam.
Adam at camp proposed that we should start talking, we should start interacting beyond just the group dynamic, which I think was really beneficial, and I think it had to be from him. Like, I've been feeling that way. I've been feeling like we should have more individual conversation, and they started to happen a bit, but it was nice to hear someone who has the experience playing Survivor to say, look, this is how it works. Let's not be afraid of this. We're going to a lot of tribals tomorrow. So that really opened the door, and from there, a few of us capitalized. So myself, Adam, Alex, and Bethany went to the bathroom together, and it was kind of interesting because there's a lot of different dynamics right now. Obviously, there are the 4 guys and 4 girls from the split of the reward, but I think pretty quickly I feel good that that's not going to be how the tribe split up.
Austin and Adam seem like a good pair that we could make a good triple going forward, but we'll see how it shakes out. We're in talks of a 3 and kind of considering 4ths.
Who was in the running for 4?
I think maybe Corinne, or not Corinne, what's her name? Goddamn. Candace. Okay. I always mess it up. Whatever.
We only got one person
So
from
terrible.
Gabon.
I've been like spending all day, I've been spending 3 days with her. I keep messing up her name. Candace.
So Candace is in the mix.
Yeah, she's in the mix just because Adam and I have been with her from the beginning. She's like super honest, like super nice person. I feel like she would be like someone that wouldn't screw you over.
Who else is in the mix?
We've also kind of talked about Liza,
Okay.
but she's pretty quiet. She's hard to pin down. I haven't really gotten much out of her in terms of anything, so I don't know where she's at.
I would also like to have a conversation with Bethany. We've been in the same tribe, or we've been so much, the same station every night, and we really haven't had a lot of one-on-one conversation. We've talked a lot in a group, but I would like to talk to her privately to kind of see where her mind's at, because she's a little bit difficult to read. So I don't know if she's leaning more towards one way or the other. They've all taken a walk now to go to the bathroom, so I'm sure they're having these conversations, and that makes you a little apprehensive because you don't know what's going down.
So actually Adam is super cool, but Adam was super cool in being like, guys, you should all take the time to talk to everybody and have little powwows and just feel out where everybody's at. So I think almost all of us have taken the time to do that tonight. I felt reasonably, so I don't know Bethany at all. I haven't been on a tribe with her at all. I haven't even spoken to her other than saying hello before this evening. She seems super nice. I don't know if it's too late in the game, which is crazy to say. It's like, what, we've only been here a day? Feels like forever.
It's too late on day 2. Yeah.
It's been a long day. It was a long night. Where am I going? Yes, she seems great. I feel reasonably good with Austin, but I am quite sketched out by the foursome that was him, Liza, Abby, and Sunday from our tribe our fake tribe last night, because they were some shady bitches this morning, and I was not happy with them. They were clearly all whispering amongst themselves and not even pretending to include me, and it's like, oh, I'm not stupid.
It's like the 5 of them and then you.
It was the 4 of them, because it was them 4 and Nick C, and I didn't see them whispering to him, although I have found out, seeing as it turns out I did manage to get some sleep tonight, it sure as hell doesn't feel like I did, but he had a big conversation with Abby that people were talking about today that I obviously slept through. And I think Sunday and Abby are really tight with Nick now, and they're working with him on the pink tribe. I think he's going to turn on the other guys.
Sunday is perceived as a strong player, so she could have some real weight there, and her experience. Alex, to me, from what because I didn't know him up until today, he kind of seems like a little bit of an underdog. That could be an advantage. And Katie, I just built a really good, strong relationship with. She's somebody that I would like outside of this game, and if I met her on the street, we'd bond and be friends, and sometimes you can't replace those kind of bonds in a game like this, so her for that reason.
I don't know. I'm going to say it's between the 2 guys, that Alex and the guy with the English accent. What's his name?
He's Alex.
Yeah. What's his name?
He's Alex. Yeah.
He's Alex? Oh, he's Alex.
He is Alex.
I said
British
English. I'm like,
guy's
what?
Alex.
Well, what's the other dude's name with the dark hair? I forget.
Dave?
Is that Dave? No, not Dave. I think Dave will. I'm rooting for Dave. He's a good guy.
Austin?
It's Austin, yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking those 2 maybe.
It was kind of small nods. Me, LJ, and Wayne had an alliance before we initially split up, and then once we all did this, we're like, we're sticking together, come hell or high water. And then I went for the kind of Island of Misfit Toys a little bit. Alex wasn't, hey, you'll come in, you'll be safe. Same thing with Austin, and they had actually spoken to Nick. I think there was one other one that I wasn't in charge of that we had. We think a pretty solid 7.
How'd you feel then at the the last challenge, it seemed like if LJ was in your group, it seemed like everyone and their brother wanted to throw wood in LJ's net.
Well, if you saw the challenge, they were scared of me, so they knew that I could handle it all. So
You can handle a lot of wood? Okay.
So my wife, so you saw the challenge. The Pink Tribe and our tribe apparently had an alliance. It was basically Adam with Sun. They said go after them because they're a bit of a super tribe right now, very strong. 3 survivors, so we said we'll pile up on them, and it still didn't work. LJ still held all the way. It was amazing. Yeah, so I was the lucky guy standing there with not a single piece of wood. My wife going, don't you fucking drop it.
The first challenge was absolutely vile. I just was on the edge of the mud being like, oh, but having to pretend I was doing something because you didn't want to be the weakest link in the first challenge. It smelled like shit, like literal shit. It was just disgusting.
That's actually what it was.
I mean, yeah, on the boat tonight, Bob was like, it's a clay deposit. I was like, it's not a clay deposit, Bob. Like, calm the fuck on. It was just disgusting. I did not enjoy that first challenge.
Talk about these women and their ranking.
What a pile of bullshit. I don't really have anything else to say about that. I was quite offended.
And your final, let me get
What number were you?
11.
11. It's not the last.
Oh yeah, but last was like an old guy. So, I mean, no disrespect, but there was also old people who were ahead of me. I thought I did quite well today. I did that thing with an axe and actually hit it.
I saw that. How'd that make you feel?
Oh, I lost my mind. I really hope that is on film somewhere because nobody will believe I was able to do that. I couldn't quite believe I was able to do that.
So at first I was a little bit insulted, but I actually, after much consideration, I kind of like where my ranking is because I'm not considered a threat at this point in time. And that could help me get to the merge. And if it does, then we just pull out a big can of whoop ass and run with it. That's the plan right now.
So I think there are a couple of people on the outs, which are probably Susie and Candice. Candice is a very nice lady, and I found out today that she had raised the most money for the event, so I do feel very conflicted about voting her out. I will still do so most likely, but I will feel bad about it for a second. After that, I must be coming across so badly. I hate doing these late at night because I have no filter.
That's how we do 'em.
Yep.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I haven't eaten anything in 2 days either, so I think after those two, things will get messy. So it's just a question of whether they get messy in the morning and we sort them out, or whether it is some hashtag blindsides. Maybe I'm going to get blindsided. That would be kind of fun. I would be really upset, but I also wouldn't be. No, I would be. Actually, I would be upset if I sleep well tonight. If I don't sleep well tonight, I'm just going to be a zombie anyway. So, what's going to happen at 6 with our tribe? I think what's going to happen at 6 with our tribe is going to depend on what happens with the other tribes. Orange are just beasts. They're just beasts. And everybody is scared of them. And I don't like some of them. So...
Who don't you like on Orange? I'd love to hear.
I kind of decided I don't like Wayne. Because he was mean to me on Friday. Wait, no, what day is it today?
Today is Friday.
Today
Thursday was Wayne mean, and how was Wayne mean to you?
Because you told me I had to leave the tribe when we did that strange token thing, and I will not forget that. I hold a grudge. It's a British thing.
So I see 2 potential warring factions coming into the merge. LJ's group and mine plus Sunday's. I believe that our group is going to be larger coming into the merge, which would put LJ in a real predicament.
Are you worried at all about challenge competitiveness? I mean, because LJ was clearly stronger in that challenge.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there is a very good chance that that LJ's tribe just cleans house tomorrow and takes us down in everything because they are incredibly strong. And if that happens, then we'll be entering the merge with a real, war brewing with potentially somewhat equal numbers. And so it's unclear if that side will win out or our side will win out. And so I want to cover my bases. Just in case my group is in the minority, I need someone on that side, someone with influence that's going to make sure that I'm not the one being targeted. And I had the perfect opportunity to make that arrangement with LJ today when we both volunteered to go to Exile Island together. So we went there and we made an agreement that we would continue to target each other's groups, which is a strange alliance in Survivor, but we did not agree to work together, but we did agree to make sure that the other person individually is not targeted if our group wins out at any point. I had a similar agreement with Brett in my season of Survivor where we were on opposite alliances, but I made sure that when our alliance was voting, that it wasn't Brett, and Brett did the same for me. And we ended up making it to the final 5 together before Brett and I were both blindsided when Brett went home. And so I like those kinds of deals. I love the idea of working with someone across the aisle. I think that's what this country needs a little bit more of. And so if LJ goes home, I think I'm the next biggest threat. If I go home, I think LJ's the next biggest threat. So it makes sense for us to work together without working together. Because if we did actually team up visibly, we would be a massive threat in this game that people would want to instantly take down. But if we're on competing sides, my side is going to need me to get rid of LJ, and LJ's side might need LJ to get rid of me. And as long as we can keep each other in the game, we'll keep each other, we can take out each other's allies, and then maybe get to a point where there are enough survivors left in the game to flip the script and actually join up together. So in this group, I probably trust Bethany and Austin above everybody else.
We're trying to pull in Liza as a 4th. I've been with her since like the first second of this game. I don't really have any read on her strategically, but she seems like she's kind of like, she's very quiet, but I feel like a little bit of warmth towards her, and she seemed really excited about being on Adam's tribe. She volunteered, so we want her to be a 4th, and she seems like someone who'd be loyal and trustworthy. So she's probably good. Dave, I really like also. He's been like really selling me, like trying to talk to me all day about like the Maryland connection. He's from Maryland. And I feel like that's genuine. He seems like, he's a military guy. He seems pretty stand up. So I feel like I can work with him and I want to keep him in. And Candace is there. Bethany said she has a relationship with her, but not anything deep. And I think that's true from what I've witnessed. And I don't think Candace is a person to hide a lot. So I think that's accurate, and we can keep Candace along for a bit, but she's probably pretty expendable. Alex is the one who is, it's interesting because he's in a lot of different groups. He's with Dave, he's with me, and he's been talking to Liza and talking to Bethany. But Alex has kind of emerged as one of the big players to me. The big thing for me was last night when we got to that first tribe, he was all about talking about how much he didn't like his first tribe with LJ. And how they didn't have any vibe, they didn't click, he fell on the outside. And maybe some of that was genuine because they kind of like kicked him out of there. But he then immediately this morning, when we had a chance to pick another tribe, he said, oh, let's take LJ's people, let's take LJ's tribe. And I was like, you just said you didn't want to work with them all night. Like, that is really, really sketchy and really threw me off. And he also was just talking to LJ all day. They had a legacy clue. They shared a lot of things. They were whispering a lot. I'm just not buying that he's not with LJ. And I think that he would. He's a type of player who might cut ties with LJ and move on from that if it suits him. But I don't see him being like a loyal person with this grouping. So Adam and I talked, and Bethany and I talked separately and then together about potentially blindsiding Alex.
I mean, I talked with Adam, Candace, Alex, Austin, and a little bit with Bethany, just kind of like keep me in her mind. I haven't had a chance to talk to her. I'm going to do that when I get back, actually. I feel very comfortable with Austin.
Okay.
We've been together since day one. This is the first time we've actually talked like strategy and talked about working together. officially, but before when we were trying to figure out who we would vote out in our overnight tribe, the tribe.
Overnights.
We had talked to each other about that, but we hadn't mentioned that we were going to work together in the future. So this was the first night that we kind of cemented that that we wanted to work together, and yeah. So Adam, Austin. I feel like those are my main here. Yeah.
Okay.
The others I'm a little more skeptical on.
Okay.
I love Liza. I think she's.
Okay.
I really hope she does well. I could tell she was really upset when she didn't do the fire thing, but I was so trying to encourage her to do it and how much magnesium, what to do, and I could tell she was getting upset. Like, oh, I just can't. And then she really got upset, and I was like, it's water. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. There's a lot bigger fish in there. There's a lot bigger issues and problems in this world than this.
Who's the
right?
big issue or problem in this game for you? Anybody?
Oh, no, I don't have issues or problems with anybody that I like everyone. So that's my downfall too. People like me, and then I'm like, no, don't like me, and just, you know.
John stepped up at every single challenge, and within 1 second of John Vatea finishing the explanations, John from Thailand was like, all right, guys, well, I'm going to step up and do the last spot if that's okay with everybody. And we were like, all right. So literally every single challenge within 5 seconds, which was great. It was really enjoyable, and I'm glad he's here to play.
So we kind of like took on like the hero role.
He definitely took on the hero role. John definitely took on the hero role.
When I came to the fire, was that the same thing? Did John step up there, or was that more of a group decision?
Adam and I were talking pretty much all day about the story of John stepping up to every challenge. And it really was cemented when he stepped up for the fire making. And even when he cooked the hot dogs on the boat, like everywhere John was, things were happening. But it was enjoyable, and it's good for him because he got out first in his season, I think. So why not take every chance you can to play?
I will say I know I'm at risk because I'm the one person that did not have any ties to any of the women, and if the women take over, they don't know me, so I could potentially be on the chopping blocks. I'm doing what I can to build bridges with them. You know, we'll see. I think we have a plan, but best laid plans with mice and men and all that. As far as the other group, the orange team, even though they were talking, they were pointing to me like, you're next, and then I got picked by the other team. Immediately LJ and Wayne came over and said, stay strong, make it to the merge, we're coming back. So theoretically, if I stick with this, I have an option here and I have an option there, unless I'm home with my kids.
Well, I know a lot of people want LJ out, so I'm gonna see what they're gonna say to me, and if because I want to help them out. So strategically, you know what? That's a good thing. Even though I'm a survivor myself, I want them to know how to play this game. And so if he's a top player and you guys want to get him, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna help you get him. Maybe I'll do Adam. I don't know. It's getting a little bit too cocky for my liking. Maybe I'm gonna have to take him out.
I feel I'm at an 8 confidence that I have people that want to genuinely play with me in this game on this tribe. I almost think that there are too many of those people, and I don't know what to do with all of them, which is a great problem to have.
Well, it's interesting because you were ranked #1 in terms of strongest competitor.
How did that happen?
Well, that's what we're going to ask you.
Where
do you think that comes from?
I am clearly not the #1 challenge competitor, and I think that's the funniest thing to ever happen.
Well, do you think it was purely challenge based, or do you think there's other factors into that decision?
I think, and I don't know why, because I'm a winner, and they should be a little scared, but I think a lot of people want to work with me. I think Bethany wants to work with me. I think Liza wants to work with me. I think Austin wants to work with me. I think Sunday wants to work with me. I have something going with LJ now that we can talk about. The Knicks want to work with me. Steve Helling wants to work with me. Katie wants to work with me. Like,
that's like, we're almost like at half the people who want to work with me.
So Katie was the one that was like with me like from the beginning. So I had asked her. She was the one that like pulled all this out. But Sunday and Abby are like, they seem super solid, and they were fairly forthcoming as well.
But then Pink is so scary because Sunday and Abby are just running shit. They're just running shit. And it's that thing where everybody knows it, but I just think they're gonna have enough people who they've fooled into thinking a 3 or 4 or high enough on the list that they don't have to do anything until it's too late. And that's the most frustrating. Like, I know I was just joking about a blindside, but seriously, I would much prefer to go out being blindsided than be sat at a tribal council like I just couldn't work out what else to do and I'm on the wrong side of the numbers. Like, that I think would be such a waste of time. After spending 2 nights in the woods.
I know that I have Sunday on the Pink Tribe. My only concern with Sunday is that I know that she's really close with Abby. And I think that, like I said in my confessional last night, that I think that Abby is a really big threat for, everybody. She's the total package. So I'm worried that they're going to get in too close there. But then I know that Sunday will, because when we were on the female tribe, Sunday was talking about bringing in other females that were there. So I feel like she's going to keep working on those connections there. And try to get those tighter, and then when we come back together, we have those.
Okay. But today was interesting on the guys' tribe in general because a lot of subtle things were happening. Nobody wanted to break off. Nobody wanted to. It just was like taboo in the group. But you would see people start to whisper a little bit, and I've been trying. My big strategy has been to just observe and smile and interact with people, and somehow that worked in that I found myself in between 2 alliances that formed in like 10 seconds. Like, I don't even know how they came about, but all of a sudden there was a 7 with like LJ's group, and there was a 7 with like Steve, Nick H, Nick C, whatever. And Nick C and I had talked about, we had been pitched to both alliances. So, and that was good for me. I felt like I had options. So the legacy advantage was brought up as a group, and my point is that there's legacy advantages. There were idle clues today, and people would all bring these up kind of publicly, which I thought was really interesting. It made me really glad that that I wasn't associated with any of them. So I think John apparently found the legacy advantage from what I heard. I tried to see who was going to find it, but I ran past it because I'm an idiot. And John apparently found it, which is so perfect. It fits the whole John is the closer story. He got it. He was like winking at people after. So
So you're saying he told people that he had it, or?
Somebody told me, I think Adam told me that he saw John get it, and it made sense with where John was in the sticks, so I think it's accurate. And I saw him go whisper to Adam after, I saw him whisper to LJ after, and he was like winking at me, and like he does that in general, so who knows, but I think it was related to the advantage because he felt good about getting that.
So at Exile Island, first thing I noticed, there were some ropes tied to a tree. Innocuous enough, right? But not in the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge, where nothing is accidental. And so I go right up to those things, I'm like, what are these ropes about? Think about it for a second, I pull it out, I pull the other one out, I pull the other one out, like, boop, done, got it, advantage is mine. But before I open it, I want to make sure, and I did this in front of LJ because I wanted to show him, I am willing to work with you. I am willing to be open with you if you're willing to do that back to me. But I made sure that we had an agreement before I opened that thing. Before I shared it with him, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to come back to bite me. And I do believe that we got to a point where LJ is going to keep that information secret. I hope he will, at least for the time being. It's way too early to be causing waves with me. It wouldn't be smart. So what the advantage said was that I get an extra vote, except I can't use it myself. I have to give it to somebody else to cast an extra vote. That's a really dangerous advantage, especially if people find out that I have it, because it's threatening, but it's rarely useful. You have to know the exact vote count, and in a game like this, where you don't have a whole lot of time to gather information, you don't know. You're not necessarily going to know the exact vote count of every vote. it's not like I can put in the work that I need to do that I would do on the real show if I had 3 days to figure out exactly where all the votes are going and if I need to use the advantage. So it's going to be really tricky. I definitely want to make sure that that it doesn't get out widely, because so far, like, for example, I think almost everybody knows that John has the legacy advantage. There are things that are out there, and word spreads very quickly, so I have to be very, very careful about who I trust with this information. And right now I'm thinking I might trust Austin with it, and I may potentially trust Bethany with it down the line. But I need to be very, very careful about who I reveal the extra vote to.
Here, I feel strong with Alex, feel strong with Austin. Adam says he's with us, and Alex and Austin say they have an in with one of the women. I don't know any of the women. I've met them for 10 minutes. The pink team who lost immunity, they were kind of up in the front of the boat, the 4 of them, talking strategy almost the entire time. I mean, probably 10% of the time they'd pop in and say something fun for the group, but they were embroiled in their own discussions. For the rest of us, we had probably 25% strategy discussions within your tribe, but the rest of it was talk to each other, mostly listening to Bob. Bob was yelling us with stories of what's going on. So
Dave, Alex, and I talked a lot on the boat. It was a nice chance to, we had the other guys there, but people were doing their own little thing. Pink was freaked out about tribal, so they were occupied, and Orange had like Mike and John and Wayne, who don't seem like the most overtly strategic people, so I wasn't really worried about talking in front of them. And we whispered. But so we made a bit of a 3, and so we wanted to bring in Adam, keep the guys intact just in case. As soon as we got to camp, that kind of fell apart. And I'm okay with that because I've had some red flags about Alex all day. So the 4 was kind of going to walk out to cement those things and see how everybody felt. But the real purpose of that was for me, Adam, and Bethany to solidify a 3. So a lot of Alex being there was kind of just because he chose to be there, but I do think it was important that he was there and he feels comfortable and he feels good. But we are concerned about Alex, and I didn't get to talk to Bethany at all on any of the tribes, and I don't know her, and I was like, I don't know how to vibe that she was someone I want to work with, and Adam and I have clicked right away. So I think that I feel really good about that 3, and I think that is the actual core group that's starting.
Because I'm playing a game where I'm just giving everybody all the information I have all the time, like an idiot. Like I found the legacy clue and just gave that up to everybody because I just couldn't be bothered. And then I've just been telling everybody who's shit talking them. Well, because the legacy clue was like you have to hunt through a pile of wood, and I was just like, oh, there's gonna be weevils. So.
Well, you've watched the show though; it could be very impactful. But evil versus
honestly,
evil.
I'd be the sort of person who plays those things wrong. I don't even want a hidden immunity idol. I don't think, because I'd end up playing it at the wrong time and feeling like an idiot. So I'd rather just win this playing a straight game, or not win. Probably.
I'm focusing on one step at a time right now, and my goal right now is to get to the merge. And then when I get into that place tomorrow night, just get a feel for who I'm with at that point. And we all know we go in individually at that point and just play it out and leave it all on the table. I am very nervous going into tomorrow being the returning player. I've been very honest with everyone, just because I don't want that to come back and bite me in the butt. I hope it plays to my advantage of being honest. But I do feel like that will be in consideration tomorrow when votes go out. Overall, if I came to the end and there was 3, I'd want it to be 3 of the best and 3 of the hardest players. That way, if I did walk away with a win, or even 2nd place or 3rd place, I know I played hard, I played honest, I played real, and I can go home and just have this experience.
Optimally, that's you and which 2 women? If it's the 3 strongest women.
I'd say Sunday and Katie.
Okay. What kind of stuff do you think you'll be seeing tomorrow? What are you dreading tomorrow?
Oh, I'm not going to eat anything disgusting. Everybody's been talking about that, and I just won't do it. I
refuse.
I will absolutely.
Even
refuse.
if it's with immunity on the line, you won't eat.
I mean, I'm not going to eat like worms.
Okay.
I'm not gonna eat like shellfish. I don't like shellfish at all. I'm not gonna eat like. I'm not gonna eat gross things. I'm pretty sure I'm not. I am quite competitive, so maybe I will surprise myself.
Okay.
But I find it very unlikely. Oh, I'm not.
Thank you,
I'm like
Kevin.
literally, I'm not gonna poop in the woods at all. I'm not gonna poop on one of these porta potties either. It's the porta potty. I'm like just not gonna poop until the end of the game. Quite frankly, I will hold it in.
Like Real Survivor.
If we could have some sort of a challenge where you're just like, I'm not pooping, I would win it.
I'll talk to Andy and John and see about the not shitting
gonna
challenge.
I'm not even enjoying peeing in the porta potties anymore. It's quite gross. I don't know about that. I know it's probably not even supposed to be peeing them. We should be peeing in the woods, but I don't like peeing in the woods either. Yeah.